All right, guys. Welcome to my channel. And if this is your first time, thank you. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for joining us today. And I actually want to just share my experience about my UK trip. Like you all know, I went to the UK, which is the United Kingdom. I went twice in the space of 1 month because it was more economical for me. The first time I went was the um, northern part of England, and connecting to London was going to be like more very expensive, which I'm going to talk about like subsequently in this video, right? So I just felt it was more economical for me to fly back to Poland and then go back to London. So that was why I did not, you know, go to London the first time I went to the United Kingdom. And again, the time frame I had, because I just had like 3 days off work and plus my weekend. So I just had like 5 days. So it was not really all enough for me to visit everywhere I wanted. So it's a nice experience, really. It's really a nice experience. So um I just want to share my experience about the UK generally, like my experience so far. It was nice. I really love the fact that I went to the United Kingdom for the first time in my life. It was really good. And I got to see a lot of places. Like first time I visited Lincolnshire and Yorkshire axis, I went to I flew to Leeds and I went to Hull, I went to Doncaster, I went to Scunthorpe, I went to Gainsborough, I went to Lincoln, and I went to Shelford. So these were the axes I visited when I was in the northern region of England. And then I went back again to London, and I saw the famous London Bridge. I went to Buckingham Palace. I went to the famous park. Went to Big Ben. I went to the London Eye. I went to Tower of London or something like that. Yeah, and I went to Stamford Bridge, which is home for Chelsea Football Club. I went to Emirates for Arsenal. I went to Fulham Stadium and also Crystal Palace. Yeah, it was really nice. Really, it was a nice experience in the United Kingdom. I'm really glad, and I obviously would want to go back. So, for just for those who has not seen my UK trip, you can see them like here. But so this like the first and second time I went to the UK. So you can watch the my videos. Yeah. All right. So I think one of the what are the things I learned first and foremost. Like we all know, the for driving, they they have the driving steering at the right hand side, which was like really strange. I've always heard, right? But seeing that, I know several times I wanted to go sit, I was going to the right side to sit because we have our left hand steering. We have the steering at the left hand in Nigeria and even here in Poland, right? And then most times I end up like going to the right side to go and sit down. And they're like, "Do you want to drive?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to drive." So that's that. It was really funny. Like almost all my stay there, I did not like blend in with that in that particular aspect because I just feel it's going to take a very long while. And looking at how they drive, it looks stressful to me. So that's that. And one of the things I think I love about the UK people is that when you use their public buses, when you are getting off, you say thank you to the driver. I think I love that. Like I really love that. You say thank you. You tell them thank you. You appreciate them. It's really very nice to be very honest. And I really enjoy that totally. Like in different parts. And I think it's more common. So around that Yorkshire and Lincolnshire axis, I totally loved it, right? They also do that in London too, but it's not as like more in that those axes. I love that totally. That's one. And then one funny thing about the bus system is that the bus is pretty cheap, like extremely cheap. Okay, just look at it. I don't know, like okay, let me use I don't know. Okay. Okay, let me use like kilometers. If you are traveling like let's say 7 kilometer, you get to pay in Lincolnshire and Yorkshire axis, you get to pay £2. And if you're going to the next bus stop, which is like maybe let's say a 2 minutes drive, you pay £2. And someone who is going to 7 kilometer or even more still pay £2. So irrespective of in as much as you are going towards the bus route, even if you're starting from the first point to the last point, you pay £2. And if you are just going to the next bus stop, you still pay £2. So it's a mixed feeling for me. I don't know if I should be happy or I should be sad because it's very funny. So I'm obviously very happy if I'm going like further distance. I'm happy because it's economical for me and cheaper. But if I'm going just to the next stop, it's like, why do I have to pay £2? So that's just the funny thing because I noticed that because I flew in from Leeds Bradford Airport and I needed to go to the train station of Leeds, and I noticed I paid £2. And one of the beautiful things I think I loved about the whole scenario is that you pay with your card. You can just with your phone just tap and you're good. You don't have to start going to look for where to buy tickets or where to buy card because I've been to some cities you just have to buy tickets, like in more in paper form or stuff like that. So you have the option. It's not like you can't do that there, you can, but you also have the opportunity of just tapping your your ATM, which is really very good. It could be your digital ATM or your even physical ATM card, which I think I like, but it also comes with risk, which I'm still gonna talk about. And you don't pay in the train in quotes. Yeah, if you're using the train system, you don't pay in the train, inside the train, like you get to tap. You have to tap outside. It's more like they have like barriers that you need to pass before you can access the train station. So it is expected that you cannot pass the barrier without buying a ticket, right? But that does not still stop these controllers from checking inside the tickets because humans are very funny creatures. Sometimes some of them can beat the barriers, in order to enter this train. But I never saw any of the controllers on my trips in the United Kingdom. But I was buying the tickets anyway. So which I think it's kind of nice, right? It's different from what we have here in Poland, where I know you have something like that in Warsaw, right? But more you get to buy your tickets maybe with app or maybe from somewhere, then you just enter and then you check, right? But here you tap at the barrier and the barrier gate opens and then you go, or either way. So it's different a bit, like from the city where I live, right? That's that. But there is a but there because I ended up paying crazily, which I really felt bad and I let in a hard way. And I think if I am visiting the UK, I think it would be better for me to just buy the ticket so that I just tap in with those tickets rather than tapping with my ATM card. Because the problem is that the first time, it was my first time in the United Kingdom, for example, especially when I went to London. I tapped. I saw the barrier was open, and I didn't know. I was just asking which way to the train station. They were just directing me, and I walked through the barrier. And then when I got to the other side, they said I have to tap out. So I was trying to explain to the other person, but I felt bad. Like the person I met in that open barrier did not like inform me properly. Right? There's one thing about me. I don't like beating the system. It's not in my gene. It's not. I like doing things the right way, right? So if he had told me, "Oh, you could buy ticket," because I was asking, "Where can I buy ticket?" He said I could buy it at the other side. And I think much later, like few days in London, I discovered he gave me very wrong information. And he's also a staff. Like he had this like maybe other apron of like airport workers. So I felt he gave me very wrong this thing, and it's really very bad. And I felt very bad much later. Now, all you should have just said is just tap in here and go there, then you tap out, which would have been like the nice, I could just buy a paper ticket, right? So I went through the borders, I took the train, and I got to the other side where I needed to tap out to enter the main train because that was more like a train shuttle. they asked me, so I was asking the lady, like, how much does it cost? She was like, no, just like maybe it's like £2 or something. And I said, no, I was like, it's okay, because I saw some people trying to like talk to the person. They said, I just felt like it's £2. Let me just tap in. And I tapped in and I left. I didn't get notification because most times, it's Europe and stuff like that. They give you exchange rates much later and everything. Then I tap into the other side. I tapped outside the other side because I met the person I was going to be staying at his place. And much later at night, I saw that I was debited 15 point something pounds. And it came in zloty, which is Polish currency. And um, pounds is actually like higher than the Polish currency. Pounds, £1 is like 5 zloty here. So imagine 15, approximately £16 times five. And I saw the notification and I checked my history and I'm like, when did I buy something? Because I could remember literally everything that I was buying. Like when I see notification, I'm like, okay, this is where I ate, this is that. But I was like, this 15, £16, like I can't remember buying anything like with that amount of money. So I was just trying to tell my host, like, oh, this I just saw this debitor. Like, well, like, did you tap in somewhere? Like, he said this money, it's like the maximum that they usually charge in a trip. They felt like maybe you were trying to boycott paying from one side and one side. I'm like, no, I never tried to do that. And they were like, oh, that's wrong. And I was not happy. That's like, think like 2 days after that stuff, right? And then I've had issues like that. Like when I see an open barrier, I just walk in and I go to other place and I tap out, right? So I didn't know that I was just tapping in one way. I think I had like about that £16 approximately, like about 3 to 4 times. And I felt very, very bad because that first guy gave me a very wrong impression, which I didn't know. And it took me a while to even ask because I only asked when I started seeing the debits on my accounts, and I just felt like I wasted way money that I would have. In fact, when I calculated the money I spent on transportation in the United Kingdom, I felt very bad because almost half of it were like kind of avoidable because those other days I just bought like a full ticket, which was like £15. Yeah, I think if I remember, I bought for £15, and it covered the whole zones of like I think zone 1 to zone 6. So why would I want to do that? I could just buy that one and I'm okay. So rather than just spend, so I felt really bad. Like I felt really bad. So if you are going to the UK, you just need to watch out for that. If that is actually like your first time, please watch out for that. I think I would strongly advise you or encourage you to buy the paper ticket, because the truth is that if you walked in through those barriers and you're tapping with your paper ticket and you forget to actually tap, the truth is that there is no place to deduct the money from. That's just a simple truth because you have your tickets, right? So I think that's the mistake I made. And I think I would strongly advise people to buy paper tickets if you don't want to have that horrible experience. And I think it's worth sharing so that I can actually save people from the drama and the whole this, because if you actually have like kind of like limited funds like that, you can actually get stranded because of these things. And you don't want to be caught, and that's like gonna be very, very bad thing, right? Because it's probably gonna dent your immigration image, and you probably have difficulty, trying to get visa to the same country or maybe any other place, because these people actually have a ways of corresponding with themselves. So I don't want that for myself. And that's why most times I try as much as I can to respect the immigration process and laws that I find in a particular country, right? Because it's their country, it's what they want that you should want. And if it's not okay for you, just get out. That's what I believe. So I try as much as I can to respect rules and regulations of anywhere I find myself. So that's what you need to know that. And then for the bus system, I think the bus system in London is quite cheaper compared to the Yorkshire, Lincolnshire that I went to, because I said the bus costs £2 any destination, in as much as it is within that route. And but in London, it costs 1.70 something pence. So and 1.7 something pounds, right? So, which in London seems to be cheaper, because I was quite surprised because London is like the main place, the capital of England, and in fact, capital of the UK. So I was expecting things to be quite expensive, right? So, but fortunately, that's that. But the train system is very expensive. Like, for example, if I am going to, okay, when I went to um, Lincolnshire from Hull, I spent £4, and £4 was because I had to stop. I took a bus from Hull bus station to Scunthorpe, yeah, and then I changed from Scunthorpe to Lincoln. It was £2, £2, which is £4. And I got to my destination. I was happy. I met people I needed to meet and that. So I wanted to go back through that same route because it was going to be cheap. It's going to be £4 going, £4 coming, which was really very cool for me. I don't have any issues with that. But the bus kept delaying for almost 2 hours. My bus did not arrive. And because I needed to go back home that day, because I didn't plan to sleep in Lincolnshire, even if they were asking me to sleep over there, but I didn't plan to. So I declined. But I ended up going to take the train, and guess how much? It was approximately £30 from there to Hull, which was outrageous, And the difference, the time difference was just like maybe an hour difference, which I don't think it's such a bad thing. You understand? So, but an hour difference, yeah, the train arrives faster, but the bus like arrives like an hour later. But from £4 to £30, that's like difference of £26. It was I just had to take it because I needed to get back home that day. I wanted to. I just did not want to plan because the YCT probably would have done was just to sleep over and the next day just take my bus or just wait for whenever the bus was going to arrive. But why I didn't want to do that is because I was considering the time I was going to get to Hull. I don't know how the transport system works. I don't know if I could see bus from the train station and bus station to my residence where I was going to stay. But in as much as I have my key, but I just felt like it's not right, you know, being a host in a house and you coming in late and stuff like that. Though, yeah, they know that I came for visitation. I needed to see a lot of things, a lot of people, but I just wanted to respect them. So that was actually why I did that because it wasn't common. The margin was really wide. So just so you know, the train system in UK is expensive. So know that and know peace. What else? Yeah, one funny thing which I think I learned. If you are using the staircase in the UK, if you want to stand, right? If you don't want to walk on those staircase, especially like the escalators, right? You stay at the right side. You're not moving. You just have to stand at the right side and give way, like there should be some space at the left hand side, right? It means that left hand side is meant for people who actually want to run through the staircase. Maybe they are missing their train or they don't want to stand, but you have to keep moving if you are on the left side, right? And then if you're on the right side, you just have to stand. So it was quite amazing. Like it was funny, right? It was so it was really funny to me. Like I'm like standing anywhere. But I think I learned that I actually did not fall into like maybe I did not have any issues, right? But I just noticed that people were doing that, and I asked someone. They said yes, like if you needed to like you know you're not running on the staircase, so you just have to stay at the right hand side. But if you needed to walk on the escalator while it's going up, then you need to give way for people on the left. That's super brilliant. I like that. It was funny. It was good. So what else? You know, yeah, I have double decker buses, which is the same thing in some Schengen countries. I think I saw that in Paris. Yeah, and yeah, that's basically like things I noticed. Yeah, and people drive. Like I said, the steering is on the right hand side, and people keep left. Like in Nigeria, the steering is on the left hand side, but you keep right. So it's like opposite of everything. And one thing again, I think I like about the UK is you get you have the opportunity of seeing lots of diverse food ingredients in the United Kingdom. Like, for example, here, even in my city here, we only have one African shop at the moment, right? And this is where we get to buy like our indomie with plantain, red oil, some of these like maybe needle milk, pig milk, things like that, right? We get to buy these things here in these stores. We don't have it like in the regular stores, like you go to be a drunker, Jabka, Carrefour, Kaufland, and the rest of it. You can buy these things there. No, they are not there, right? Even beans, the other things are not there. You have to go to African store to buy these things. But in the UK, Tesco, and there's this one, is it Aldo, or I can't remember the name. But you go, there is a section for African food. You can buy Indomie, our own Indomie gongo. In fact, you even see Ghanaian Indomie, like Indomie brand, Ghanaian own and Nigerian own. You see like pig milk, you see like Nido, you see like plantain, you see like you know ugu, lots of things, like lot of places. And there's even a place I went to in Shelfield, like it's like a mall, there is section for African food, like agege bread. You see all these things there. Like, I just love the fact that there is kind of competition, and it's not like where one person is like the king of everything, regulate the price. No, because the truth is that if you do shakara, another person you go buy from another place, right? So I actually love that. Like, I think it's for that food. Yeah, I don't know about you. Like for me, I'm not really like big on swallow stuff. Nigerians understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm not very big on that. But like things like Indomie, like noodles, like here, I find it very difficult to I have some like our Indomie noodles, right? And that's how what I use in eating other noodles here. But the other noodles are not like giving me the vibe of Indomie. I think I'm very big on that. So I think things like plantain, noodles, you know, maybe like fresh pepper, you understand? Those things are like things I think I can buy like more on a regular basis. I'm not like big on ogbono, egusi, and the rest of those soup things. No, I'm not really big on that. But I think I love, for you to be able to buy it somewhere, yeah, they could be pretty expensive somehow, but they have lots of it, which I think it's a very good thing. Because I have, like, my friend always tell me, like, oh, he eats only like Nigerian foods, like in the UK. And I'm like, how is that possible? Because I'm using the mentality of here in Poland, because I know that there is no way you continue eating like Nigerian food there, except you want to go bankrupt because they're expensive. Because the money you used to buy one of this, you can use it to buy like regular food here in Poland, like a lot, and it's gonna be like last you for days. So yeah, no. So I think I like that about that, having access to different variety. Can even see Asian stores and stuff. Like, not like they don't have it in my city. They are not, they're just like maybe one store doing that, right? And obviously they are super expensive, super expensive. But here in the UK, you have more access to these foods, Caribbean food, Asian food, this, that, very, and lots of African restaurants. But in my city here, I think we have like the only African restaurant we have in my city is, I think, from Ethiopia. Yeah, we also have like, and one thing I think here we have lots of Indian restaurants, which for me it's like my favorites. Asians and yeah, Asians, Indian and Thai. I think they're like my favorites, like foreign cuisines. So that's excluding Poland. Poland, of course, everybody knows I love scabovi. And so I think I like that for those people who really like are big on Nigerian food or African food. yeah, the UK, you have lots of varieties, and I think I like that. So far that was my experience in the UK. I love UK. I think I like UK, right? And my friend was asking me if I could live there. Coming from Lagos, Lagos is very fast paced, and I think I saw London to be like that, or maybe UK generally to be like that. It is kind of fast paced, and I don't think people work so hard. It's not like I'm hardworking, right? Like working hard, your survival depends on how hard you can work. And you know, in Europe or in abroad generally, most times bills are paid monthly. So you have to keep up. And I look like a very stressful life in the UK. Sorry. Because everybody I know like try to work morning to night, do this, do that, and this boy is lazy. I don't think I'm caught up for that fast pace. I think I paid my dues in Lagos, where you live a very fast paced life. The kind of life I want, the more older you get, the more you know that happiness does not really come from, so many things. Sometimes some of these uncommon things are what we crave for: peace, tranquility, calmness, less noise, beautiful views. These are the kind of thing I think for me I am craving more, right? And somehow Poland kind of like fitting into that description, where people value quality of life. And so far, to be honest, I kind of like it here. It kind of gives me this calmness that I think I I crave. So, but anywhere generally in Europe is dope, right? So it's just up to you. I can't make decision for anybody, but yeah, but these are my experiences so far. It's good, and for sure, I would always come to the UK. Like I would always want to come to the UK, always, right? Because I know a lot of people, friends, acquaintances, and I would love to keep in touch. And there are a lot of places to visit in the UK. A lot of places. As at now, as at this video, I've just visited just two places, right? And two places only. And that's it so far for now. But I have the intention to go to, because about 4 or 5 countries or one make up the United Kingdom. Think Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England. Is there another one? I don't know, but they make up the England, so the UK. So I want to go to this. I've only just been to England. I would love to go to Scotland. I would like to go to Wales. I like to go to Northern Ireland. You know, I love to go to these places too. So I don't know if the visa I have is gonna be enough, because I got a 6 month visa, which I'm gonna show you guys the requirements, the things I submitted, because trust me, it was one of the most streamless visa application I've ever had. That's a very streamless, and I'm gonna share how I got my visa, how long it took, and every other stuff. So I'm gonna do that like maybe in another video. But so far, this is my experience in the United Kingdom, and this dude here loves it. All right, guys. So until my next video, that's my experience in the United Kingdom.